Hi, hello, welcome. Welcome to today's session. Let's discuss a concept from the chapter Pastoralist in the Modern World. And today's topic is the borders are closed. In the 19th century, the African pastoralist could move over vast areas in search of pastures. When the pastures were exhausted in one place, they moved to a different areas for the purpose of grazing their cattle. But from the late 19th century, the colonial government began imposing various restrictions on the mobility of these African pastoralists. Like Maasai in Africa, other pastoral groups were also forced to live within the confines of specific reserves without making the movement, because the boundaries of these reserves became the limit within which they could now move. They were not allowed to move out with their stock without special permits, and moreover, it was difficult to get permits without trouble and harassment. So before 19th century, the pastoralists in Africa, they were free to move from one place to another place. The posture in one region is exhausted, then without any such kind of problems or difficulties, these people used to move to the other places or the other regions where they can get posture to their cattle. But late 19th century, the colonial government imposed various restrictions for the mobility of these postures, and moreover, they are given movement only with due permissions, and getting these special permissions, it's only possible with trouble and harassment for these people. Then moreover, those who found guilty of disobeying the rules and regulations of the colonial government, they are severely punished. The pastoralists were now also not allowed to enter the markets where it is given preference in white areas. In many regions, they were prohibited from participating in any form of trade activities. This made cutting off all the links, however, never really possible, because white colonists had to depend on black labor to bore mines and build roads and towns. The new territorial boundaries and restrictions imposed on them suddenly changed the lives of pastoralists. This adversely affected both their pastoral and trading activities. Earlier, pastoralists not only looked after animal herds but traded in various products. The restrictions under the colonial rule did not entirely stop their trading activities, but they were now subject to various restrictions too for involving in trade activities. When pastures dry, drought affects the life of pastoralists everywhere. When rains fail and pastures are dry, cattle are likely to starve unless they can be moved to areas where forage is available. That is why traditionally pastoralists are nomadic. They move from place to place. This nomadism allows them to survive bad times and avoid crisis. But from the colonial period, the Maasai were bound down to a fixed area, confined within a reserve, and prohibited from moving in search of pastures. They were cut off from the best grazing lands and forced to live within a semi-arid tracts prone to frequent droughts. Since they could not shift their cattle to places where pastures were available, large number of Maasai cattle died of starvation and disease in these years of drought. An inquiry in the year 1930 showed that the Maasai in Kenya possessed 7,20,000 cattle, 8,20,000 sheep, 1,71,000 donkeys. In just 2 years, the severe drought 1933 and 1934, over half of the cattle in Maasai Reserve died. With this, let me stop today's session.